got the bad ending. Okay, it's been a while since we had an after party, but let's go! Good work! It's been an awfully long time since we had an after party. We used to have one at the end of every story.
I never thought we'd still be having them in the Reiwa era. After Showa comes Heisei and Reiwa comes after that. It's hard to keep track of them all.
I want you to try to count how old we all are from the current Reiwa year. Wait.
I want you to try counting out how old we all are in the current Reiwa year from when we're in the 58th year of the Showa era. Nippa!
No! Stop it! Stop the count! We'll always be in the prime of our youth!
I suppose there might be some people who don't know what this after party thing is all about.
That, like, they were all teenagers in 1980, which means in this year, it's 2023. Everybody is old now.
So I'll go ahead and explain. Back when Higurashi When They Cry was published as a doujin game, it was released chapter by chapter.
Basically every chapter except Matsuri Bayashi ended in tragedy and left you feeling sad.
Yeah, that's right. So, to clear those bad feelings away, we held these after parties where it all carried on like normal. Things were brutal for us in the stories too, so we wanted to cut loose here. Nippa!
Apparently, it's both our own after party and an after party for the production staff.
That's right! It also meant to celebrate the final build, so the shenanigans all around. In actuality, the debug tournament from Hell starts right after this, so it's not really the final build at all. Nippa! I see! So that excitement about those agonizing cries from the fact that they're making this right after their brains are completely fried from trying to finish said final build.
Apparently, they even got letters complaining the awful excitement completely ruined the solemn feelings they had when the chapter ended. Well, that's a trope of doujin game development at the time, so cut them some slack.
For those who don't know, a doujin work is something someone creates independently and then sells by themselves at event spaces. There's other opinions about what counts as doujin as well. Anyway, since doujin works are typically developed during the creator's spare time, there are no real deadlines.
But since the days the events are held on are set well ahead of time, that ultimately creates deadlines for them anyway. So everyone ends up working until the deadline is right upon them, and then after an agonizing all-nighter that looks like something straight out of hell, they send it off for printing at the height of their exhaustion. That's why everyone always is burnt out by the time they finish a script, and these afterwards are usually written when they're in that state. Which is why I feel like everyone was always writing things like, "Good work, I'm tired," or "It was hell again." The afterwards from that era had an air of showing off, like they were all bragging about how they didn't get any sleep.
What a terrible culture, Nippa!
They could have just honestly written about that, so why didn't they just turn those into creative after parties that were all over the place?
Well, if the production staff were coded in pictures of themselves and said, "Man, we're beat," then it wouldn't be very cute, would it? So please stop uploading this stuff to pirate sites, everyone.
Regardless, the atmosphere around the doujin game development back when the thought of shaving years off your life was being pretty praiseworthy. Regardless, the atmosphere around the doujin game development back then, the thought of shaving years off of your life was being praiseworthy. Well, you're only able to shave off years when you're still young. That's true. I guess our old man has truly become an old woman. Wanna take it outside, you numbskull, the Valley of the Wind? What was that, my neighbor Dodo Brain? You're the cicada already! You should do something about your ponyo belly before You should do something about your ponyo belly before talking badly about others, sis. You're the one who needs to go on a diet, you porco rosso! You can't say that one! You can't even say that one!
And arguments like that tend to get even crazier and worse in after parties of the old days.
It actually feels nostalgic, seeing that craziness again, I mean. Though they calmed down after an awful lot in the titles after Higurashi, didn't they?
That's because the tea parties that served as the after parties in those games got incorporated into the main story. That's what did away with all that wild energy. There were no more after parties in the games that followed, huh? Having that much energy left after going through hell was because of their youth. By the time Yumi Neko ended and the staff moved on to Higamana and Rose Guns, they were all worn out and withered. Guess youth is truly a limited asset. I always thought people could stay young forever, depending on their mindset, of course. Believing that youth will last forever is probably another privilege of the young.
This has gotten kind of dour. This isn't what after parties are all about. Let's get our blood pumping. Yes, pay attention. Kei-chan just said something really smart. We can't be as dour as we want. We can be as dour as we want later. So let's enjoy this moment even more.
That's right. People who can't enjoy the present will never be able to enjoy the future that comes after.
Alright, then let's get this after party going.
Today I brought a magic box from the ritual storehouse. There's another round hole in the top. It looks like your average raffle box. Inside are pieces of paper with all kinds of topics on them.
I get it, so we'll draw one of those slips and then discuss that topic.
I'll go ahead and draw the first one then. Here we go. What's it say? What kind of person would you want to marry? Hello! It's embarrassing right from the start!
Then let's have Kei-chan be a man and go first. No stereotypical answers either. You have to say what you genuinely feel. Well, what do you mean no stereotypical answers? Huh? Why are you pinning my arms from behind me?
Nipa! Here's a treasured injection from the Furuti Shrine to make you answer honestly.
Stop! 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 Ah!
Rika, is that syringe really safe to use on somebody? Of course, the effects are immediate. See? Keiichi's look has already changed. Keiichi, are you okay? You don't feel ill, right?
Hey, can you hear us? What kind of person would you want to marry? First, let's start by defining marriage. Are two people married after submitting their marriage registration? If so, then marriage is reduced to an administrative term used by cold-blooded officials. Is it acceptable? No, it's not! Marriage should be defined as when two souls are prior to each other and bound to spend their lives together. Love is everything. Without love, there could be no marriage, and yet there are kids of marriage open to two people who love each other? No, it's not open at all! If love is anything, then age, nationality, religion, even gender should mean nothing in the end! Since Japan does not allow that, I can firmly declare the Japanese definition of marriage is not the same marriage I believe in. No, in fact, even asking both parties to be humans is foolish. Humans and animals, or even humans and interactive creatures, should be able to marry. If both parties love each other and they're certain of that, then the bond between those two is already eternal. How is that not marriage? How is it not? Now return to the question at hand. What kind of person would I, Maribel Keiichi, would want to marry? The very question itself is flawed. It's mistaken. Oh my god! You're already being too narrow-minded and eliminating people. You don't get it. At this point, Maribel Keiichi is already married over 100 wives. Of course, they're not people, but they're animals. The one that I first married was a silicone. Wow! I don't really get. Okay, let's try.
I don't really get it, but I think I'll pretend I didn't hear any of that. By silicone, does he mean a doll? Was Keiichi referring to the doll that served as a mother when he played house as a little boy? Keiichi's surprisingly pure. Nipa, I hope you stay this way forever, Sadako.
No, I think he was talking about something else. Oh, God. By the way, what kind of person would you want to marry, sis? Me? Well, of course I'd like to marry someone who's mastered every martial art and has a thorough understanding of cryptography, who works for an international spy agency, and
I would just want someone who went through school together with me and was always friends with me. Someone who would just turn to me at some point one day and ask, "Do you want to live together, I think?"
Well, what is that? Rena, that's so plain. I think you should be dreaming a bit bigger. Honestly, it's hardly worth trying to support you, sis. Well then, let's try the next topic. I'll do it. Here we go. It says this year is Higurashi's 20th anniversary. That's incredible. We've been around for 20 years by now?
Wow, it's already been that long? We've only been able to make it this far thanks to everyone's support. Every now and then I get anxious about what everyone from the Heisei and Reiwa era thinks about the Showa vibe that we have. For one thing, 20 years ago, the original author wrote Higurashi thinking it would only get read by people reading
Wait. Let's redo that.
Every now and then I get anxious about what everyone thinks from the Heisei and Reiwa era thinks about the Showa vibe we have. For one thing, 20 years ago, the original author wrote Higurashi thinking it would only be read by people attending Comiket.
Culture will change over 20 years. What would pass for a joke 20 years ago is unforgivable now, and the opposite is also true. This game is a work of fiction that was written the 14th year of the Heisei era. I hope those who install this game understand that it was written at a different time in a different culture and different values. We also cannot guarantee that owning and playing this game will always remain legal in the future Japan, though it's a bit crude that we have to make things like that clear at the very beginning now. It may be crude, but that's the kind of era we're heading into. And anything and everything is permanently recorded in the digital realm. And without adding a disclaimer like that, it can be misinterpreted as a reflection of the author's current values. It's also been 20 years for the author since writing Higurashi. I'm sure his thoughts and ideas have changed between then and now.
The author even said he was able to write Higurashi precisely because it was 20 years ago when he was young. He mentioned if he tried to write it now at his current age, then even if the setting was the same, it would end up turning into a completely different story. After aging 20 whole years, well, a lot would change. All the staff members who endured that agonizing development hell would be 20 years older now too.
There's no way they could all just sleep in the same room until it was finished now. Each of them has children and they have families to spend time with, not to mention the huge difference in their stamina and concentration between then and now. That said, it's still possible for them to challenge themselves with writing stories that they can only write now after living through the past 20 years, right? That's very true. Though, I think it's also incredible they're still holding on to that energetic feeling that Higurashi had 20 years ago. That's something we can't be grateful enough for. We're only able to reach this 20th anniversary thanks to everyone's support. So thank you very much, everyone. You have no idea how much it means or how encouraging it is that you all continue to support us, that people are still enjoying Higurashi even to this day. Our Hinamizawa may forever be trapped in the 58th year of the Showa era. We'll always be in good spirits and keep going wild forever. We'll always be full of energy, growing paranoid, reaching level 5, and running wild. It would be lovely we'd be able to do something special for the 20th anniversary, wouldn't it? I have a few ideas of my own. Well, we don't know if any of them will come to fruition, but it'd be lovely if we're able to do something. Then I guess the next one is the last one? Alright, I'll pick the last one. Here we go.
The anime Higurashi Go and Sotsu. That's our topic.
Yes. Let me talk about this first. As Hinamizawa's conscious, I never once developed level 5 symptoms. I was the angel who never doubted her friends. I think most of the fans who cheered for me decided to support me because of that.
Shi-chan's Hinamizawa syndrome was quite different this time, and it brought out a different kind of fear and sadness.
I can't believe
you stomped my head in that badly and shoved me into the outhouse.
I know, right? That was so gross, wasn't it? The angelic Mio would never be able to do such a thing. What were you going to do if I made my fans all throughout the nation disgusted with me? That's not really what makes you appealing anyway. I think your true fans enjoy watching you go wild. What's that supposed to mean? Then you go ahead and list 10 things that are appealing about me. 10? Piece of cake. Huh? First off, the index finger of your right hand is cute, you know? The next is the middle finger of your right hand is cute, you know? Next. for yourself, Mio. The things said about me were awful. That is true. Everybody who, like, Sadako was justified in what she did. Everybody fuck off. Okay? That's not true. Your Nene understands you. It was all Rika's fault. In this world, there are just some people who hate studying, no matter how hard you try to make him do it.
For me, the anime was just tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. It was still full of surprising and unexpected scenes, though, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, according to the author, the anime is full of surprises even for him, so he was able to enjoy it like a normal viewer.
What started as a text-only outline became a series composition outline, and then a script, and then storyboards, and then finally images were animated. Though those people imagine scenes differently if it's just text, right? So because of that, there were several scenes that shocked even the author.
Sometimes it's best to leave it to the experts. Besides, things that are fun to read as text and things that are fun to watch as anime are slightly different too. There are some moments when my successive traps can cause even an unexpected combo that would even shock even myself, despite being the one who said them. One good example is the scene where Mio pounds away at me and stuffs me in the outhouse. The only thing written in the outline was she gets dumped in the septic tank. The septic tank is beneath the outhouse, so it wasn't wrong at least? Apparently the author had envisioned her removing the lid of the septic tank and dropping it in there with a splash. But then it became dumping her through the opening of the toilet, and since but then that became dumping her through the opening of the toilet, and since that opening isn't very large, she wouldn't just slip inside, so... Oops. Let's try that again. But then that became dumping her through the opening of the toilet, and since that opening isn't very large, she wouldn't just slip inside, so... That's how it became that famous scene where Rika, who always acts in the shadows and steals the good parts with a smile with a me or a nipa, gets bashed over and over again.
Huh? But famous scenes are not aside, the author was taken aback, but he wanted to make use of the surprising sense of intensity, so it all got cleared.
I see. So even the author watch was surprised at the unexpected interpretation of his work. I always thought the authors knew everything about the production process and could tell which scene was which with their eyes closed by the time it ended up on TV. There was some of that as well, but I think it's really fun that even the author could be shocked. That's true. It wouldn't really be Higurashi if it couldn't shock the author himself.
By the way, it ended with me as an incredible villain in that tale. So how am I supposed to face the rest of Hinamizawa now? I don't think you need to pay any mind. When I asked you to buy toilet paper, but you come home without buying any, I play out 8 or 9 ways to brutally murder you in my mind while I'm wiping my butt with printed straw paper. And then I'll finally come out and you tell me, Rika, you take too long in the bathroom! And I feel like I could easily waste 100 or 2 more fragments on just bullying you. Nipa!
Same! My sister's incomprehensible nitpicking and insensitivity leaves me so frustrated that I murder her 100 or 2 times in my mind every day.
Everyone has things that irritates them or at least they can't tolerate, and we often vent like that by imagining how we'll get back at them. I don't think that's an unhealthy response, but...
Well, I'm not really one to talk either. But being part of Hinamizawa is learning what's important. Learning to grow up. Besides, all Go and Sotsu are Sadako's story. Whatever she does there or learns from there, that's all up to her. Rika just mentioned that she'd waste 100 or 2 fragments in her imagination just bullying Sadako, right? But everyone can laugh it off because it's all just inside Rika's head. The story of Go and Sotsu is nothing more than something Sadako will imagine if you ask me.
If you animate what's inside my head, it'd be quite possible to broadcast it on air.
That's right! My imagination's incredible too! When I suffered an awful fate for your punishment games, my mind goes into making Mio and Shiro change their animation more efforts right in front of me before I make them, and then I have Retta. What? And then I have Rika and Sadako. Huh? And they can cry all they like, but they can't. What? Were we not just saying it was okay to do whatever you want in your imagination? You just made me question your humanity! Kei-chan, I think you should enjoy that by yourself in your head instead of voicing that out loud.
If we had crime prevention buzzers in our era, they'd all be beeping and buzzing right now. Nipa!
It's true that Sadako caused countless tragedies and lots of fragments. Each of those was an unforgivable sin, I think. But I would still forgive her, because that fragment that she chose in the end was a world where everyone is happy, and both her and Rika respected each other's choices.
That's true. I agree with Mi-chan. What matters is what we choose in the end. All the other hypotheticals leading up to that, those are just dreams.
That's the same thing Hanyu said to me when returning to our original fragment during the Saikoroshi.
It might be a dream, or it might have actually taken place, but we're unable to make that distinction, so what matters is that the world we're all living in now. I still think I was being a bit of a victim, being pulled around at Rika's whims. But as time passes and I continue to live in Hinamizawa without Rika, then maybe my thoughts will come to change. You know, I also think I went through awful experiences because of you. But as I live at St. Lucia without you, then maybe my thoughts will come to change as well.
It's up to everyone how they choose to interpret the story. That's right! We can't force anything on anyone. But when you do regain your spirit, I'll always be waiting right here ready to accept you. Always being there for people. Well, that's what being a friend is. No, a best friend is about.
This has somehow gotten complicated. Sadako and I should have just punched each other and then talked it out from the start. Who knows? Now, I'm sure all the twists and turns that we took where I vented everything festering in my heart is what allowed me to be able to say how I really felt. I'm sure the fact that you two are practically close family actually made it harder to talk about. So in that sense, no matter how many tragic fragments it took, I don't think a single one was wasted in helping your mind mature. Thank you. I think I'll take my time to think on it. No matter what happens, I'll always be your best friend, Sadako.
Hey, Sadako, what's the matter? You're looking down! Everyone's all gathered together over here. Today we're having Sukiyaki party at Angel Mart. And that's our club member only after party. It's time we join up with everyone else. Satoshi! Look at you! You made an Angel Mart all by yourself! Shion, how old do you think I am?
You can have a seat, Nini! I'll get plenty of meat for you so you can be happy!
Spoiling Satoshi's my job! Shall I chew up the meat for you? I'll bite it up and make it nice and soft.
We should go too. Let's all eat up and keep working hard.
Yeah, that's right. We club members are going to tear up the Reiwa era too.
Fight on, okay? Rika, your world will stay the same, forever and evermore.
True. It will keep on going, just like we wished. And will continue to change and grow, just as we wish for. I won't be satisfied with just 20 years. I'm a 100-year-old witch. And I plan on keeping it up for another century.
That's the spirit. Now it's time for you to go too. Go eat lots and lots, okay? We've all made it this far thanks to all of you. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you very much. And we hope you'll all continue to support us as well.
Oh, I love this. Bro, I've been with this series for so long.